got a couple of observations for everybody as we're into training camp and well into training camp. It's now August 7th, 2021. Bengals are working hard. You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics and the young offensive lineman. And I remember this well as a young offensive lineman. You know, you're taught new techniques in terms of pass protection and run blocking, and you rep them over and over again. And you don't have pads on in the early stages. You just got, shorts, t-shirts, helmets, and then all of a sudden the shoulder pads come on, and you're in full equipment, shoulder pads and helmets, and it's full bore now. So all of a sudden you're going against a defensive lineman that's just not doing walkthroughs against you. He's trying to beat you every single snap. And now your survival instinct kicks in. And when survival instinct kicks in, you may not remember the newest techniques that you were taught. You go back to what you did throughout your playing career, whatever it was, out on the football field, and you're surviving. You're in a survival mode. So it's interesting to see some of these young players revert back to old techniques when it's full pads, full go. They'll have one practice where, boy, it looks pretty good. They're starting to really catch on to these new techniques and make all the adjustments. And then the very next practice, they get beaten 1 or 2 reps, and man, it's like, boom. You go back, as I said, right to that survival mode. It's just an instinct. And it's very, very difficult. And I remember going through it, and I remember my line coach, Tiger Johnson, saying, you're not doing any of the techniques we're teaching. And I said, no way. I know I'm doing them. And he'd show me the film, and I wasn't doing them. I was doing things that I did back in college at Syracuse or back at Wakefield High School or whatever the heck it was, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. So these guys are going through that, and it's an adjustment. There's no question about it. It's an interesting adjustment to watch them. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of repetition. It's a matter of confidence and muscle memory and all the things that go along with it. So watching young players adapt and adjust, and sometimes veteran linemen that come in from another team that were taught totally different techniques, it takes a little while to unlearn those techniques and relearn the new ones and get your mind and body trained in that way where it does become total muscle memory. The other observation is this week, the NFL has the officials here at Cincinnati Bengals training camp, and this group of officials were in Kansas City last week, Cincinnati this week, and then they're going to go to Carolina. And in conversation with them, they said that every crew in the National Football League is going to go to at least 2, in most cases 3 training camps. And what a difference a year makes, because there was no training camp last year whatsoever for players or officials. And it's as hard on the officials as it is on the players. You go right to full speed NFL, full speed games. That's like going from 0 miles an hour to the Autobahn. And it takes you a while to get your eyes adjusted. And I was talking to them about how tough that adjustment is. It's very, very difficult. So they're really looking forward to having the reps that they get at training camp as well. And that helps the players help the officials when they're practicing full speed like that. And the officials help the players because, they hold the players accountable a little bit. You can get in some bad habits. Sloppy hands in pass protection, get them outside the framework of the body, and it's not really noticed until you have an official, just watching everybody every single snap. Same thing in coverage and bump and run technique. You get your hands outside the framework of the body, or you're grabbing, stretching cloth, and you're getting in bad habits, and you're not being corrected. It's not being you're not being told that you're doing things illegally. So it's good to have the officials come and work. It works both ways. It's a double-edged sword. It helps the players, helps the officials. And I was very impressed last year by the performance of the players and the officials during a year where there's a pandemic, no camp, no getting ready for the NFL regular season. I thought that both phases, the players and the officials, performed at a very high level. And I think the NFL felt the same way. The NFL should be proud of what took place last year in terms of performance, and I think they are, and it'll probably even be a little bit better this year. So it's interesting to watch the officials and players working hand in hand this week at training camp.
Hi, Dave Lapham here. Have you heard about In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics? Catch new episodes from the world of sports and broadcasting. Search for In the Trenches with Dave Lapham on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.